Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zolo. It is the final week of our Look Inside series. We have 3 teams to go over with you. It was the 2 best and then the worst. So it is the Eagles and the Chiefs. We are kicking it all off with the Chicago Bears. And we have, I think, for the first time in forever, I think that's a song, we have Miss Stepmom Lauren joining the show. Very excited to have her back. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I'm your host, Joe Zolo. As always, Joshua, Ryan. I can't even say as always anymore. This has been
I was literally thinking, are you allowed to say as always with as many shows as you miss? I don't think as always counts anymore.
Sorry, I've been busy selling, merchandise, so it's fine.
On every continent in the whole world.
Get it.
Hey,
I just want to say, I feel like I need to run through a brick wall after that intro music. That was epic.
You're welcome.
It's like 7 o'clock at night right now, and now I'm wide awake. Ready to go.
You're welcome. Let's get fucking ready.
I love that Joe is on a show with 3 old people who are like, oh, it's 7 o'clock at night.
I know. I'm like, my bedtime is in an hour and a half. Let's wrap it up, folks.
I took a nap at 1:30 today.
To be fair, Josh is not on the. I say Josh is not on the Lauren.
I'm not on that same level. I'll be up till 2-3 in the morning doing graphics and stuff for tomorrow's big launch. So,
well, okay.
Can't wait to talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
I'm so in the dark. I don't even know what's happening. So.
It's on the show sheet if you'd ever fucking
Did
read
you just wake up from your nap, Joe?
No. Listen, we had the All-Star game yesterday. We had to pull tarp because it got rained out. So it's been a busy couple days. We found out last night. After this podcast, go check out Dave Portnoy's BFF's podcast because you may or may not, but definitely will see him wearing a Motorboaters jersey in the podcast, which is kind of sick. So, and you can get it at mrmotorboaters.com. Yeah, Lauren, do you know about the Missouri River Motorboaters?
I mean, I could go so many places with this. I'll go with no.
Okay. Well, you should look them up because
I will.
I was in charge of marketing, and I think you'd love the merchandise.
Congratulations! I mean,
I'm currently wearing my. Yeah, I love that. Currently wearing my designated motorboater shirt. So
I'm gonna look this up, and I may purchase some of that merch. This is the only hat that actually fits my tiny baby dome because it's a child size hat.
There you go.
Well, we have hats that can fit to your head. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
Because
normally my ears poke out like I'm a gelfling, and it looks terrible.
I'm positive. Don't worry.
Dark crystal.
Sorry, guys. Had to get in the motorboater talk real quick because it's been.
That's what we're here for. Now.
I mean, I was in New Orleans for a couple times,
All right. I love how this. We normally end with 2 teams, but we saved.
We had a schedule mishap.
We had a schedule mishap
with Lauren's best friend.
Yeah, it's just
Adam Rank.
We try to get Adam on for the Bears. I just love that it happens to be the worst team in the NFL last year, paired with the 2 Super Bowl teams. Yeah. It's just funny. That's all. It's just funny.
Let's see how much fun we have with it this year. I may do it again next year.
Do I need to text him and be like, what happened?
Yeah.
No, Josh. No, this was Josh putting all of his chips in on getting Rank for the Chicago show and then it not happening. And he's like, well, I'm going to save it just in case. And then
no,
it's, honestly,
he's a busy man nowadays. Busy man.
Honestly, I'm just happy because I've missed all the ginormous, guests except Lauren. So I'm just happy,
I'm on a diet, Joe. What are you saying?
You're so funny. Okay,
I
Chicago
know,
Bears.
That's why you love me.
Yep, that's why we're here. Chicago Bears says there's an explanation why the Bears are here with actual. Oh, okay. Yep. See, so when
again, if you'd read
there's
the show sheet
on there too. You're supposed to laugh.
Why would I read the show sheet before the show? That is a classic Joe move to not read the show sheet before the show.
If anyone's never tuned into our show before, it is normally this fucked up at the beginning. It's just even better because we have Lauren here, and she is permanently the fourth host of this show whenever she wants to be here. And we haven't talked to her forever, so we were so far off the rails. You have no fucking idea.
Yep. The Bears 3-14, same coach, same offense. Eberflus the coach, Getsy the offensive coordinator. Sorry, I don't know why I skipped on that. Justin Fields, your QB1. We have a 1A, 1B, 1C situation in the backfield, according to Josh. Khalil Herbert.
Lies, falsities, and lies. Don't let him listen to you. Go on.
Well, hey, remember how I don't read the show sheet until now? This is me reading the show sheet. Okay?
Remember, I don't care when you speak. I just speak over you. It's still the same.
I'm aware. Deonta Foreman and Rashaad Johnson, who, if you saw his, I believe he had a post-camp press conference, something like that. He was telling you how to do your curls with his comb. I don't know if you saw that on TikTok. That was funny. Wide receiver 1, DJ Moore. Wide receiver 2, Darnell Mooney. Wide receiver 17, Chase Claypool. He's not 2B. Not even close. Tight end 17, Cole Kmet. Tight end 25, Robert Tonyan. Actually, we can call Cole Kmet a tight end 1 now because he's paid $40 million. Was that the contract?
I think it was 4 for 52.
4 for 52.
Yeah, I think that's what he signed.
I mean, I made that last year.
Yeah. 52 whole dollars. That's what I made.
$52, baby. Woo! 4 times.
Just want to be as bad at my job and get paid as much as Cole Kmet does. That's a life's goal. Honestly,
Bradford.
4 for 50. Excuse me.
4. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Because that extra
12.5 million.
I was gonna say it was a big guaranteed number.
So for every reception he had, he got $1 million. Is that like what it was?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Nice. It's the Bears, so okay.
This is so fucking stupid. My guy is so stupid. It's so dumb. Like if he gets 4 years, $50 million, does that mean Travis Kelce gets $1 billion like Shohei Ohtani's about to get? Like what does that mean? What does that mean?
It means it's all messed up.
It's fucked up. My guys for the Bears. Josh, you have DJ Moore. Ryan, you got Justin Fields, literally the only person you trust. Lauren, you have Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, the disrespect that you showed Khalil Herbert when Will listing the 1A, 1B. What there is no 1A, 1B, 1C. There is RB1, and then there's RB2, and then there's maybe let's sprinkle in a water break.
I'm going to tell you right now, I just actually want Lauren to talk about this to make me feel better because I made some mistakes in this offseason and paid up for Khalil Herbert.
This is how I started my therapy today.
Let's say when Kate Majuk had me all hyped on him. So now I need Lauren to get me back on this hype train because I was looking at one of my teams today and Herbert is my RB2. And I'm going to tell you, Lauren, I felt kind of bad about it.
Why did you feel bad? What is wrong with you? Clearly, you have not been listening to my podcast with Jake Seeley and Chris Meany, All in Football on the FTN Fantasy Show Network. We love Khalil Herbert, mostly because of the opportunity that this young man has. David Montgomery is no longer there. I am not afraid of Deonta Foreman. Why is everyone afraid of Deonta Foreman? No, there is going to be a world where there is a split committee here. I'm not saying that this is going to be a Derrick Henry type of situation, but the volume is in Khalil Herbert's favor. He is a good pass catcher as well. I like what Justin Fields with a mobile quarterback does not mean the running back is shut down. If anything, this helps a running back when you have a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields. I'm also not that concerned with Rashaad Johnson this year. I think that he's going to have some excellent games, though, he meaning Rashaad Johnson. So I'm not discounting him completely, but this is a rookie coming into the NFL. They are really trying to prove themselves. I don't think that this is going to be an awesome real NFL team. I think there still is a lot of growth that is involved with these guys, but Khalil Herbert, when he has had the opportunity, has done excellent work on the field. And I think that is going to continue this year. This team is collecting itself back from just being just like refracted through a piece of glass. They're trying to pick each other back up, put themselves together, make themselves into a semblance of a professional NFL team. And that revolves around all those names that you mentioned, Joe, specifically Justin Fields, specifically Khalil Herbert, who I absolutely love. And that is really what's going to make this team click. And Khalil Herbert is one of the key pieces in that offense. Will there be committee? Yes, I do believe we'll see some games with the committee, but I believe the majority of those touches, a majority of the volume, including dump off passes from Justin Fields behind that atrocious offensive line, is going to go to Khalil Herbert. So do not feel bad that he's your RB2. Well done.
I appreciate it. No, and the efficiency numbers certainly speak for themselves. Over 5 yards, over 5.5 yards per carry last year. My only concern that you seem very much optimistic about, Lauren, is he's never really shown much as a pass catcher. Do we think that was just David Montgomery was better and we're gonna now see it out of him more?
Did I mix up my running backs? It's very possible.
Well, I was gonna say, because he's only caught, I think, 16 or 18 passes or something like that.
Oh, then yeah, I probably did mix them up then.
He had 9 catches last year.
Oh, so then disregard anything that I said about him being involved.
Well, like I said, the efficiency numbers look fantastic. I'm just going to be interested to see. But you may be right, Lauren, because he's going to know it better than anyone else, because he's going to know the offense better than D'Onta Foreman. He's certainly going to know the offense better than rookie Rashaad Johnson. Plus, Rashaad Johnson already came up with an injury. So I do think things are starting to shade in Khalil Herbert's favor. I'm just going to be interested to see what happens with that passing down work. And Josh, I know you've done a ton of research on passing down work with mobile quarterbacks lately. So
yeah, the Bears targeted running backs, I think it was 63 times last year. So I would not expect any level of high volume passing work to any of the running backs. If anybody's
I know what I was trying to say, and I totally effed it up.
Lauren.
My bad. So what I was actually thinking of in my head, because this is why you take notes, everybody, even someone like myself. Just got done talking about this last Saturday, and here I am already forgetting what it was that it was. I was actually talking about red zone attempts, and that in my mind then got traversed into,
which is a great stat.
Yes, which got traversed into a passing down running back. Sorry about that. What my mind was meaning to put that positivity in was his red zone work. So excuse me, I do apologize that. For example, week 4 last season, he had 6 attempts inside the 20-yard. 2 of those were inside the 10. 2 of those were inside the 5. This is also coming from someone who has someone like Justin Fields in there. So please disregard my pass catching work. What I meant to say was red zone and boof that one, but y'all still love me, right?
Of course.
I'm old and it's like 7 o'clock. I need to go to bed. Clearly.
My love for you is undying.
Thank you, Ryan.
I was just hoping you knew something about his passing work that I didn't know. You made me feel really good.
I don't know where. Maybe that's like what I'm trying to put out into the atmosphere is like this year it's going to happen. But you're right. I think I was mistaking that for David Montgomery in the passing game. And then what I wanted to talk about was his red zone efficiency and his regular overall efficiency, even in between the 20s. And that just turned into me sounding like an absolute moron. I don't know why I have a radio show.
So
I still think,
go
real
ahead.
quick, Joe, if any of the passing work goes to any of these running backs, to me, it's going to be Rashaad Johnson. I think he's the best in terms of not only third down skill set, but pass blocking. Like he was a really, really good pass blocker.
Will be on the field because of that
at the University of Texas.
Yep.
So that's ultimately going to get him on the field in those instances, which again can lead to dump offs if Fields decides not to take off. But again, I mean, you're dealing with a mobile quarterback, and mobile quarterbacks that rush for over 100 yards, they rarely target running backs at a high volume. So I wouldn't put much stock in any of these guys catching a large volume of passes. You're relying on yards and touchdowns. And to me, that's not going to be anything more than a mid-level RB2 at best if one of them ends up with 270 carries.
If Khalil Herbert catches more than 30 receptions, I'm taking all the credit in the world because I put this out in the atmosphere.
Well, I love it.
David Montgomery caught
because I completely misspoke and got my stats completely wrong. He's going to be amazing in the passing game.
I went in
now.
and changed my projections because of you. I have him catching 100 balls next year.
As you should. I'm brilliant.
So I'm going to say, because you bring up the red zone attempts. Do we not think 6'1", 236-pound D'Onta Foreman is going to get those carries over 5'9", 212 Khalil Herbert?
There will be opportunity for D'Onta Foreman, absolutely. And I'm not necessarily saying that I'm relying on Khalil Herbert in the red zone, especially, again, like I already mentioned, Justin Fields is still there to take some of that red zone down work too.
Oh, yeah.
But he has the capability of being that guy, which I like. Now he has the opportunity. He's not stuck behind someone like David Montgomery. He is the RB1 in that offense. So is he going to get sniped? Absolutely. There's going to be those times, and it's going to be frustrating. That's one of the reasons why his ADP is at such a good value. Is
you're certainly not paying for him.
Correct. Then that's why I love him so much. Is you're getting an RB2 an RB1, at such a discounted price in your draft that it almost is okay. You're like, okay, he's going to be my RB2 matchup based or my flex option. I love Khalil Herbert for that reason. But you're absolutely right, Joe. Deontay Foreman will be involved for sure. He doesn't suck, but I'm not as afraid of him as I think other people are when it comes to drafting Khalil Herbert, because you're not drafting him super high. You're getting him at a pretty good value.
I love it.
I just want to give a virtual middle finger to the chat right now. That's all.
I haven't even looked at the chat.
Here, I'll bring it up for you. Goss is the ultimate Fields hater. Joe hates Fields more than me. Facts, because he can't hit the broadside of a barn from 2 feet away. Joe hates everything except the Barbie movie. Haven't seen it, Kevin. Fuck you. And then I love random IDP players that he's writing from the previous season. Watch Troy Anderson go the fuck off this year, okay? Watch it.
You got to learn how to cover running backs first.
I would say as long as you don't have to cover Bijan Robinson.
Say anything bad about me? If so, don't tell me.
No, nope. They actually. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Guys,
Lauren. No.
Oh, I thought you meant did Joe say anything bad? Like we'd kick him off the show. Like.
No.
Joe will never say anything. I love Joe. He loves me.
No.
He would.
I do want to throw out some.
Way.
I do want to throw out some fun facts about the Bears last year that you might not know.
Here we go.
The leading receiver. Anybody want to guess who it was and how many yards they had?
Cole Kmet. He got a 681.
544 yards. Cole Kmet.
Spicy.
That's a joke.
And I bet
that
500 of them were the last 3 weeks of the season.
Pretty much. Yeah, and then your rushing breakdown, the attempts, 201 to Montgomery, 130 to Herbert, 160 to Fields.
Herbert was also hurt for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and a bye was in there in the middle too. So
yep. And then it's honestly hilarious. They ran the football 558 times and threw it 377.
That's the crazy part. That's the lowest attempts I remember in a very long time.
That's just absurd. Like even teams like the Falcons didn't even have that much of a discrepancy. It's absolutely unbelievable. So moving along into Josh, I want to hear from you on DJ Moore, because I do like DJ Moore. He is weirdly creeping up higher than I imagined.
They said he's weirdly creepy. I was like, what?
No.
Oh,
DJ,
did he grow a mustache?
I'm sure DJ Moore's a great guy. Okay. I just I don't like him where he's at right now at wide receiver 25. It feels a little tough considering this team might throw the football less than 350 times.
Last year was a complete anomaly for starters in terms of pass volume for even a bad offense. So I fully expect pass attempts to go up. And even if you factor in the amount of sacks that are likely coming Justin Fields' way because he holds on to the football for 17 hours in a day, you're still looking at roughly about 460 pass attempts. You're getting a guy in DJ Moore who over the last 4 years has had a 24% target share or better. So you're still looking at about 120 targets, give or take. So last 2 years, he's been over 27% target share. And if you can get those type of target share numbers from a wide receiver 3, sign me the fuck up.
Do you have the percentage of routes he's open on? Because if you don't, I do.
Go for it.
It's 100. So
there you go.
People need to fucking throw him the football. That's the only issue.
And this is the thing too. When you look at the revolving door at quarterback that DJ Moore had last year, he had career lows in yards after the catch per reception, and yards per route run. I'm not saying that Justin Fields is some world beater at quarterback. We know his struggles when it comes to mechanics, processing, etc. But when you can look at the last couple quarterbacks that have kind of struggled in the same areas that Fields has. You bring in a guy that can dominate a target share where you don't have to get past the first read because that first read is open. It tends to help with their development. Again, I'm not saying that Fields' passing is going to vault him into becoming a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. But when you can get a guy like that at wide receiver 25, to me, there is a ton of upside at that value.
I agree with you. My biggest worry is that he was a down the field threat in Carolina, and there's two other guys on this team that is their only job is downfield threat in Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool. So I think his splash playability might be lessened.
But that again, that's where the yards after catch come in because of his ability to break tackles. So even if he's working in the short to intermediate, all he has to do is catch it and he can do the rest.
I agree with you.
Mooney and Chase Claypool, they need to get down the field.
Chase Claypool can barely find where the field is.
I was going to say, like, why are we even talking about Chase Claypool? I don't even think he should be in the running.
We had somebody on the staff write an article about Claypool.
I think everything,
to bring him up.
Chase Claypool needs to be in the waiver wire and not picked up until he can prove himself. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Chase Claypool hater. I'm saying that because of a lot of, I'm not as cantankerous as you are, Krusty. But I think there's been so much off-field issues that have been going on with, I say issues, I put that in quotation marks, but they're like, oh, he's not really, what was the word?
I got you.
Or something.
He's a bitch.
Not a word. Yeah, not a word you want to hear.
I don't think that that Chase Claypool, and this is for fantasy purposes only, not for real football, Bears fans. For real football, I think that he's going to be an asset simply because they have another talented player that's on the squad. But for fantasy purposes, that does not translate to fantasy points. So he should be left on your waiver wire unless there is some kind of injury that happens, God forbid that does not, or if he can prove himself and really become an integral part of this offense, then I'll be able to look at Chase Claypool. But until then, I can't agree with you guys anymore. DJ Moore is someone to look at. You may hate on Cole Kmet. I like Cole Kmet quite a bit. I like what he was able to do. That's fun.
Dang, Lauren, that was fun having you on the show. It was really fun having you on the show.
You guys do you. You guys do you.
Boy, that was really fun having
there are some fantasy assets to this team that are not going to be very popular, but if you're in deeper leagues, I think that these guys are worth a look. But in your regular redraft leagues, your 10 to 12 people, do not miss out on someone like DJ Moore. Do not miss out on Justin Fields, and do not miss out on Khalil Herbert. I love those three players. In fact, mine was going to be Justin Fields, but Ryan already had him in there, so I decided to go on the
double up.
You can double up.
Yeah, we double up on.
I like both of them, so it was like, just bring another added part to the argument.
The one thing I'll throw with DJ Moore is when I first projected the Bears, I definitely went in after the trade. I went into hater mode, and DJ Moore ended up being like my wide receiver 32, something along those lines. But the parallel makes itself that I did this exact same thing with AJ Brown and the Eagles last year, where I'm like, they don't throw enough, yada, yada, yada. We're talking same fucking offensive coordinator. He goes out and gets a new weapon again. Josh hit it on the head. You are not going to see historically low passing volume again. And you just need that volume to come up into the 450s, 460s, DJ Moore to get his normal target share. And we're talking 130 target DJ Moore. So where my fight on DJ Moore is, you still have some in the industry that think DJ Moore is going to make that final leap to top 12, top 10 wide receiver. The volume's not there. It's not going to happen. He is going to be a great asset for the Bears, much to what Lauren was saying about Chase Claypool. The Bears could be a very different and better team on the field, but for fantasy, the three names Lauren mentioned, Fields, Herbert, DJ Moore, the only ones you want to consider.
That's it. Yeah. Exactly. And you can get most of them at a pretty discounted price, except for Justin Fields, which I think is fair. But there's value there. Don't look over the value simply because their team righteously sucks. I'm sorry, Bears fans.
Well, you're going to talk about that in one sec after this, Lauren. But Gabe, drop your question. I see it. Whatever you got, please throw it in there. We'll bring it up. My sleeper, I think Darnell Mooney's just a better wide receiver too. I think it was probably proven after last year. But he's still, you put DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney on the same team. Those are two pretty good route runners and guys with, Mooney has good speed on him. So if you give Mooney the second best guy on the defense, that's going to cover him. He's got plenty of speed, plenty of skill to get around him. I don't really love anybody IDP on this defense. I think they have a great team defense that is going to play well in football. They're not going to get you a lot of sacks. They're probably not going to turn the ball over a lot either. There's going to be a good, solid defense.
So like a solid vanilla.
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
not like vanilla bean.
Yeah,
little bit more extra, but still vanilla.
You know how Phillip Rivers was just the most vanilla quarterback one? That's them. They're just the most vanilla. Like, they're going to be a very good football defense, irrelevant in fantasy football. They're not going to be able to turn the ball over. I don't think they're going to be able to get sacks. I don't think they have that firepower. Their power lies in the linebackers with Edmunds and TJ Edwards. That's where their power lies. You cannot do a lot in fantasy football unless it's IDP, which is why you should play it. You can't do a lot in fantasy football team defenses with two really good linebackers that don't rush the passer. You can't. So Tremaine Edmunds, I'm just going to say both of the linebackers should be good picks. I think Tremaine Edmunds will be better because I think they'll probably send him on blitzes more often. I think TJ Edwards will probably spend a little more time back there moving around. I imagine Edmunds plays more of a Roquan Smith role, but he does it like, the Walmart version of Roquan Smith. It's not going to be nearly as good, but he will have plenty of opportunity. Tremaine Edmunds is a very good player. Excited to see him in a Bears defense. Hot Goss with Lauren. Here's the game.
I had to pull this segment from her appearance on Brit's Blitz, Fantasy Football Blitz.
We had fun with our Hot Goss.
I'm very excited.
I saw that episode. I'm like, there's my idea. I immediately texted Brit and I said, I'm stealing this.
Yes, we had some Hot Goss. It was super fun.
So here's the game. The statement reads something that, depending on how the 2023 season shakes out, could be on TMZ or featured on ESPN. TMZ, the gossip, ESPN, the truth. Lauren, what is your hot goss with Lauren for the Bears?
So do I just step in here?
Yeah. No, Josh wrote these statements. I did not understand.
Oh, I thought she wrote the statement.
No. I wrote the statement, and it's up to Lauren to say, is it gossip or is it more likely to be true?
Wow,
terrible
this is so
explanation.
fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Lauren, you got it, right?
I got it. I did.
All right, so both of you were dumb.
Lauren's been a part of the fucking
If I think it's ridiculous, I say this is TMZ. If I think has some truth to it, I'm going to be like, this is going to be on ESPN.
Okay. So it's 2024. The Bears are searching for a new quarterback because Justin Fields can't throw.
No, this is chasing people around at the park or the airport on TMZ. And then they're going to talk about it while they're drinking like a caramel macchiato and be like, isn't that so funny? While this dude stands behind a half wall. That's TMZ. Sorry.
Bonkers.
I agree. I don't think they're going to be looking for. Should they? Probably, because they need a guy that, could throw. But
I mean, I understand.
You do hate Justin Fields.
Here's the big issue.
Lauren, you throw better than Justin Fields.
It's
not rocket science.
Hold on.
Throwing shade, bro.
So Fields goes out, Lauren, and does exactly what he did last year. Panthers go out and suck, and the Bears have the first pick again. Do they consider Caleb Williams, or is it just Marvin Harrison all day long?
No, they do not consider another quarterback. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Justin Fields has proven himself very valuable. Let's just stick with the run game. All right. His mobility, excellent. He also has exceptional leadership as well. He can take responsibility. He is not a drama queen. That part of the game, I think, is highly overlooked when it comes to the lead position for your squad, which is your quarterback, right? I don't think that they are going to be searching for another quarterback. Let's say if the Bears tank and fall. I think they're going to need to start addressing some other needs. Sorry to throw that need word out there a couple different times, but it's true. They're going to have to start looking at other things that are going to help their franchise quarterback, and that is Justin Fields. I do not think that they're going to be looking for someone like Caleb Williams.
I actually agree, because I think if they were going to consider it, they would have considered it this year with the class that was coming in.
Correct.
And the firepower they had.
Correct. And he has a few things he needs to work on his game, which he is more than willing to be open to that. I mean, he's working on his mental health. He's working on his breathing strategies, slowing the game down for him, as opposed to having written in his contract that he can't watch video games and has to watch film, aka Kyler Murray. That has never been a situation with Justin Fields. This has to do with the growth of not only him as a player, but growth as a team and growth of them as a team all together as they move forward. TMZ all the way, babe. The end.
If they're the worst,
moving on.
Next
team in the league
next,
again.
But this is the thing, Joe. The scenario that Ryan posed wasn't that the Bears ended up with the first overall pick.
This podcast makes me drink.
It's that the Panthers end up with the first overall pick, and the Bears just happen to have that pick.
Yeah,
and that's where the scenario differs. If it's the Bears pick that is the first overall, then yes. it's Caleb Williams all day, every day. It's not a question at that point.
I don't think so.
Here's how many
you cannot be the worst team in the NFL 2 years in a row and not make a quarterback change.
They're not going to be the worst team in the NFL. It's the Arizona Cardinals. Like without a doubt. It's the Cardinals are going to be the worst team in the NFL. Then after that, it's going to be the Panthers. And then after that, it might be the Bears.
Okay, so they're going to have a top 3 draft pick. So they're going to have 2 of the top 3 picks.
2 top 3 draft picks.
That's bad.
Why not?
That's really bad.
Marvin Harrison and some other.
And Caleb Williams. Marvin Harrison and Caleb Williams. Fucking pair them together.
I'll be so mad if that happens. I'm going to buy a Justin
Fields
jersey.
I'm going to end on this. How many people were calling for Jalen Hurts' job because he couldn't throw the football?
What if they
They didn't feel him as a passer. Guy takes him to the Super Bowl. They lose. But what did he do? Improved as a passer. Okay?
Who are you?
There has never been a run-first quarterback that has ever even made it that far, especially to the Super Bowl. There has never been a run-first quarterback to do that.
So make it to the Super Bowl.
I'm trying to figure this out. How do you
Jalen Hurts is not a run-first quarterback last year? There's no way.
What
Lamar Jackson?
But you just made the point for Justin Fields. You literally did. So you're saying that like people were calling for Jalen Hurts' job because he couldn't throw the football, and you're saying that Justin Fields can't throw the football.
I
think that he can be.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just falling into the same trap again.
You're literally what you're basically saying is that Justin Fields as a run-first quarterback has the opportunity, if he can get his passing game in line, to take the Bears to the Super Bowl.
That's
what I heard out of that.
This was played off of if the Bears have a top 3 draft pick.
Caleb Williams is what you're saying?
How can it get worse?
Well, I mean, the Eagles didn't have a top 3 pick under Jalen Hurts. We're conflating 2 very different situations. I think if the Bears have the first pick, it'll be interesting.
You guys argue amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
We scared her off.
I'm just saying there has never been a guy that Lamar Jackson's one playoff win. He won an MVP. What does it fucking matter? Jalen Hurts was a pass-first quarterback last year who could also run pretty fucking well. Josh Allen, pass first, can run. Mahomes can scramble. The best quarterbacks in the league throw the football. Justin Fields is arguably a bottom 5 passer in the NFL. Arguably could be bottom 3. You're not winning or getting any closer to a Super Bowl with him as your starting quarterback unless you have the fucking 85 Bears defense and Jim McMahon's your quarterback. Like that's not happening. You're not getting there. You're too predictable.
I don't know what your percentages are to call someone pass first or not pass first. Jalen Hurts ran the ball 165 times last year versus 460 throws. That's roughly what Lamar Jackson does in Baltimore is 3 passes for every 1 throw. It's obviously not what Fields did last year. I think Fields can grow. 2, if Lamar Jackson is run first, Jalen Hurts is run first.
How did we spend the first half an hour of the show on the Bears? That's what I want to know.
Every fucking week do we do this where we talk about one team for a half an hour and then we rush the last 2 teams.
I was going to say, you guys have me for an hour.
That's the worst fucking team.
4 minutes of
no one wants to talk about the Eagles, so we can go through this one.
I want to
no one wants to talk about the
Eagles.
No one wants to talk about them. Okay. 14-3, the exact opposite record that the Bears had. Same coach, Sirianni, same-ish offense. Steichen is out. Quarterback coach Brian Johnson is the new OC. Jalen Hurts, the 1. Rashaad Penny, DeAndre Swift, presumably, split until they both get hurt. And then comes in 3A, 3B, and Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott. Boston Scott, the RB1 for 2 games a year against the New York Giants. And yeah, I'm just very excited to see who actually has the most carries of running backs at the end of the season.
That's the only question we got to answer.
There's no shot it's Penny or Swift because they're both getting hurt. So it's going to be very interesting. 1A, 1B, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, wide receiver 7, Olamide Zaccheaus, and then dropping all the way to 24, Quez Watkins. You're not drafting any other wide receiver outside of AJ Brown or Devonta Smith. There's literally no other option. Zaccheaus will maybe a best ball guy in like a 25-team league. Okay.
I was literally going to say that he had some splashy games with the Falcons, but yeah, other than that, he's not going to be on your
speedster. He's a speedster, and he was a very good 3 when it was Julio and Calvin Ridley. He would just randomly have a game. And he would go deep. Dallas Goedert, tight end 1, probably one of those mid-level tight ends that has just been consistently good. Eagles, my guys. Josh, we're not going to talk about yours. You say everyone, so that doesn't really equate.
Homer.
Ryan, you have Devonta Smith. Lauren, you have Rashaad Penny, and I mean, Josh, you have everybody. We're not gonna talk about that. Devonta Smith obviously started off with a whopping fat goose egg in week 1, and everybody shit their pants, including myself, who drafted him. And then he figured it out, or maybe Jalen Hurts figured out that he was good, and we were in the clear from there. What is most intriguing about this team is the backfield. One,
always has been,
because they're 2 very good running backs. 2, they're splitting time with Jalen Hurts. 3, have they played a combined season at all in their career? No, they have. I don't even think they've finished an entire full 16 games. They might not even finished, 3/4 of the season? These guys are some of the most injury-prone running backs in the NFL.
Swift has played 13.
I was just going to say the narrative.
A lot of Swift's injury concerns are very overblown. Penny, on the other hand, most games he's ever played in the season is 11.
Swift, I can't remember this from my article, but I think Swift has more touches and more yards than Penny in one full fewer seasons. Like the Swift to Penny injury comps are hilarious because it is so correct about Penny and so incorrect about DeAndre Swift.
Well, we're gonna continue with it. So DeAndre Swift is super injury prone. That's
super injury prone.
Super injury prone. Oh my God. Super injury prone. Rashaad Penny is currently being drafted lower than DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is the RB25. I believe Penny is somewhere in the 30s, I believe.
RB34 on under.
Yep. So you're looking at a multiple round difference. If you really wanted to, you get both of these guys. I don't know why you would, but if you really wanted to, you could. Lauren, why are you waiting on Rashaad Penny when DeAndre Swift is technically being drafted as an RB3 at RB25? He's on the cusp in a 12-team league. Why are you waiting to get Penny instead of go for Swift? Or are you okay with both of them and you like Penny more?
This isn't okay. I am okay with both of them, but I am not okay with where Swift's ADP is at. So as of sleeper, he's going around the early 6th round. That is a little pricey for me. In a best case scenario, they both stay healthy. This is going to be a split backfield. You still have Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott that are going to be involved. This is messy. So I would rather take a shot on the later running back that is going around, I think, anywhere from the 9th, and I've seen him go in the 13th round or not being drafted. That's like crazy on some mock drafts that I've seen before. I'd rather take that half of the running back by committee instead of spending a 6th round draft capital on Swift. I just had this pulled up. He's going around the early 6. Let me go over here and tell you some other names that are going around the 6th round that I would rather draft ahead of him.
Hold on. Time out.
I was going to say,
no, hold on. I'm going to tee up the game for you. I'm going to tee up the game.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my God, it's been so long. I'm rusty.
Yeah. What are you doing? We're teeing up the game.
I know. I'm horrible.
Lauren tees it up real quick. So DeAndre Swift's currently RB25 according to Fantasy Pros, which is 66 overall. So that is the late 6th, early 7th, or mid 7 in a 10-team league.
10-team would be 12-team is early 6th.
Early 6, middle 7 for a 10-team league. So going in between. We're going to go with, I'll just go with all the guys going in the 60s because you got 3 ahead of them from RB22 to 24, and then a couple guys behind them at 26 and 27. All these guys going in between 60 and 69 overall. We'll start. The man in question is DeAndre Swift. The person who would we rather? Rachaad White or DeAndre Swift? Lauren.
White.
Ryan.
Liz Loza would slap me if I didn't say Rachaad White. So it's Rachaad White.
Josh.
I have White a few spots over Swift. So
do you like how he was so despondent when he said that too? Like, I have him a couple spots over me.
So I always want to preface these middle round running backs by saying I go 3 running backs almost exclusively.
You're never going to touch any of these guys.
No, I honestly I might.
And RB4.
I think DeAndre Swift with the ball in his hands is a top 5 weapon out of the backfield. So I would go Swift. I do feel if you're playing, like you normally would, and like you're probably not taking 3 running backs early on, Rachaad White is probably he's just going to have way more volume.
I was just going to say that, Joe. It's about the volume for me. It's not about the talent. It's about the volume.
Volume play.
Yeah, 100%. Swift to me has way more touchdown upside, but White is going to be the guy that touches.
Didn't the Buccaneers running back score like 8 touchdowns last year total? That's
Tom Brady. Now we got Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. So
yeah, that's going to be dump off city too. That's going to be great for Rachaad White. Alexander Mattison or DeAndre Swift, Lauren?
Madison.
Ryan.
Madison.
Josh.
Madison.
Again, it's a volume play with Madison, but if you're comparing offenses, holy shit, that offensive line in Minnesota is not very good.
Not to mention, I want to go back in and look at Madison. His efficiency numbers as a backup are bad, and as a volume starter could get worse, and it's worrisome.
When he splits, are you talking when he splits time with Cook or when he fills in for Cook when Cook's injured?
I'm kind of just looking at his overall stats. 3.7 yards per carry last year. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, again, the offensive line got a little better. It is not their offensive line is bad. That's a big reason. Yeah. And when he splits with Dalvin Cook, he's been better. When he goes in as a solo running back, he's not very good out of the backfield. Yeah. So. Yes. Madison, again, volume play. Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift. Lauren.
This one is tough. I'm going to go Cam Akers, though.
Ryan.
I fucking hate Cam Akers. And
I know you do.
Josh.
Same thing. It's volume play. Give me Akers.
Dang.
What we're saying is DeAndre Swift is priced appropriately.
It's a bad offensive line, too. I'm going to go Swift.
Guys are going to be so disappointed when he, is literally splitting time and Rashaad Penny gets all the touchdowns. You're going to be mad.
Just talent. Straight up talent. DeAndre
Talent
Swift.
Doesn't equate to getting touches all
I was going
to
say, he's not more talented. Yeah, he's not more talented than A.J. Brown, and he's not more talented than Devonta Smith.
Or Jalen Hurts.
Or Jalen Hurts, exactly. He has an uphill battle to climb. And
you put the ball in that young man's hand, he is explosive. Oh, he's so fun to watch. But how often is he going to get it? That's my biggest concern.
Yeah. I wrote an entire article about how quarterbacks that have 100 or more rushing yards rarely target the running back position. And there's been no running back that's been efficient with targets that has an uphill battle of 2 wide receivers and or tight ends with over 100 targets.
I remember when
Swift
I used to write articles and I could pull stats out of my ass.
If you're
not right anymore, I just talk.
If your injury worries are correct, and Chalupa Batman, he said in there Swift is questionable a lot, but he plays a majority of the games. If you guys are right, the Eagles have the best offensive line in the NFL, probably.
Yep. Certainly the best run blocking offensive line.
Certainly the best run blocking. Yeah. Did he not, DeAndre Swift, just play behind one of the top 5 offensive lines in the NFL last year in the Detroit Lions? They have
now,
to
outside
run
of Amon-Ra
football.
St. Brown, who else was catching passes for those Detroit Lions?
Fucking Josh Reynolds.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. He's never been on an offense with 2 elite targets in front of him, let alone an elite tight end like Dallas Goedert. That's going to command that many targets.
They're going to have to run traditionally at points. I'm not worried about PPR. Fuck it, whatever. They're going to have to run the ball traditionally at some point.
He's not the only running back there that is good at running the football when healthy. That's another problem that I have.
100%.
It's volume. That's it.
Yeah, if we're worried about Rashaad Penny getting injured, DeAndre Swift is the biggest back in the backfield. Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott look like fucking pipsqueaks next to him.
They're spicy, okay? Nothing wrong with being
small.
They
are spicy. They're just tiny, okay?
Oh my God, please God, do that again. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Joe, I might need you to make that a gift for us.
Got sassy Joe.
In my
I need to practice that.
In my pink shirt with my designated motorboaters tagline down there. I mean, DeAndre Swift or James Conner, Lauren.
Oh, I'm still going James Conner. Oh, I'm gonna go volume here.
Ryan.
But yeah, I'm going James Conner.
Josh, save the segment.
Easy one for me, James Conner.
Wow. Oh, Joe.
So we've now figured out the entire show hates DeAndre Swift.
Not hating. I think for real football, this is a brilliant
There's
move
too many
by the
things
Eagles.
that need to break DeAndre Swift's way for him to be effective in this offense for fantasy.
I'm going to text my husband and tell him to
We're talking about fantasy.
Correct.
For real football, this Eagles team to the fucking moon.
I'm texting my husband to make me a cocktail. Continue.
James Conner. No. DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift. It's not. No. That's no. You're
chasing volume.
Wild. No.
You better hope these aren't all volume plays. First of all, the plethora of 200 carry running backs in the 6th round is fucking insane.
Right?
Okay, last one. DeAndre Swift or Isaiah Pacheco? Lauren.
Swift.
Oh, thank God. Ryan.
Going Swift here.
Finally got me, DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
Gosh.
This is Swift for me.
Do you know why, though? For me?
Targets.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay, now I'm officially out. You guys like
my guy.
This podcast makes me vape and drink. This is why I don't come on women. I almost said women fantasy. Yeah. I don't come on No Punt Intended because you guys are terrible for my health.
How crazy would it be if I said Isaiah Pacheco right now? How nutty
it wouldn't be crazy.
It would be very on brand for you, Joe. Go against the grain.
It'd be about as blind as he is finding the gap in the offensive line. So
Isaiah Pacheco is going to lose the job to not 1, but 2 draft picks from the same draft. Jonathan Taylor and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are about to be the greatest tandem at running back that have ever existed.
Wow.
If Jonathan
and
Taylor
I'm here for it.
Wow. Okay.
I also want to know why everybody is rumoring big name running backs to the fucking Patriots. Can we chill?
Hold on, let me throw this out though.
Can we chill?
No disrespect to Bleacher Report, but all the disrespected Bleacher Report. They put out a fucking graphic today, and they were like possible trade packages for Jonathan Taylor, and they listed like 7 teams, and every one of the packages was that team's 2nd round pick. And I'm just like, you could have just been like, teams interested in Jonathan Taylor on one fucking graphic. Why did I need to click through 7 pictures to be like the Patriots 2nd round pick?
It makes their graphics team feel good.
Pick. Okay, like, what the fuck is this?
The
Dolphins 2nd round pick.
I do need to address something that Chalupa Batman asked me. Of course, I've started packing for the expo already. Duh, I'm a woman, and I will change my mind about 4 times before then.
Well, I won't be there, so have fun.
Me, God, Joe.
I have to.
Ryan,
work.
are you coming?
I am not.
Josh,
I'll be there.
Yay!
Be there.
Yeah. And Faith's gonna be there. I feels good.
I have to work, so
feelsies.
Me too.
Okay.
I do too. I've been working at the expo.
No. I have a full-time job that I cannot leave the area for. So
so does Lauren.
Called fantasy football.
I wish. All right. Sleeper. DeAndre Swift. Fuck all of you. DeAndre Swift.
I don't hate it. I don't. And that's so, Joe, you're playing exactly into one of the reasons why I'm passing on DeAndre Swift. And look how amazing my husband
Because
is.
you like him.
Thank you, Jeff Leopard. Oh, my one-armed husband.
Jeff can come and say hi.
I know, Jeff.
Oh,
he already just there. He's peace out. He just made me a cocktail, though. This is how amazing my husband is.
Awesome.
But you bring up the point. And Ryan, you alluded to it too. There's a lot of names in the 6th round that have the volume. And that's one of the reasons I'm passing up on DeAndre Swift. If he falls in drafts and is a little bit closer to Penny's ADP, which is around the 9th, I won't have any problem with that whatsoever. But I believe you're buying all of his risk even in the 6th round. If he can drop a little bit further, then I think there is 100% case that he should be on your team. He could possibly be a league winner. But where he's at right now, I can't pull the trigger. I just can't do it.
All I know is I could very well walk out of drafts with Bijan Robinson, Nick Chubb, Ramondre Stevenson, and DeAndre Swift, and I'd be.
That's great. But I mean, are you going to be okay with your wide receivers? Are you going to be okay with your quarterback, with your tight end? I mean, just depends on how you construct your roster. I don't hate it. Just for me personally, I have to pass up on it because of the value that I can get from other teams, especially at other positions besides just running back. But I think there's really good ones at running back. So I can't pull the trigger. Can't do it.
In the current state, Keenan Allen and Calvin Ridley would be my options at wide receiver 1. Feeling good.
I don't hate that. There. I don't like that though.
No, feeling good. I know Ryan's on the same
a man living on the edge.
Ryan's on the same wavelength as me. Right? Keenan Allen, baby. IDP player of note.
No, I'm not peeing. This is my cocktail.
Great. Thank you for the people listening back to this on Spotify. Lauren did not take the podcast into the pisser. She's just moving.
Nope. Sure didn't.
Just in case you're wondering, in that short amount of time, Lauren did not get up from her chair, bring her entire setup to her bathroom to pee.
I didn't.
Just in case you were wondering.
You're welcome.
Or
maybe I'm sorry, depending on who you are.
Yeah, sure. That's the.
I'm so glad you had me on as a guest.
That's the onlyfans.com/Club Fantasy FFL. That's the after hours show. Fletcher Cox.
Speaking of OnlyFans, my feet are a beautiful smell of vinegar. Yeah, I got some Olive Garden vinegar feet right now for all you foot fetish freaks out there.
Gross.
Yeah, my feet get real sweaty in the summer, so it's like it's like you walk.
Wow, we're really living up to the Club Fantasy name right now. I love it.
When I first
I shaved my toes today. And put deodorant. No, I didn't. I forgot deodorant, but I did shave my toes, so I could rock that.
Okay, so Fletcher Cox.
Didn't. Are we gonna talk packages and sacks next? I can't wait.
I love it.
No. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say I don't like many guys for IDP reasons from the Eagles. I think Fletcher Cox is just going to go out with a bang. So there's my dice roll there. Fletcher
Kobe
Cox.
Dean, LB1, baby.
Nope. Fletcher Cox will have double-digit sacks.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the hot Goss question because this is a 2-part question on the hot Goss. I'm sorry,
it's right up your alley, though.
Hot Goss. Rashaad Penny sets a career high in carries and leads the Eagles in carries in 2023.
Yeah. Okay. First part of that sentence: Rashaad Penny sets a career high in carries. ESPN leads the Eagles in carries. ESPN.
Okay.
I'm doing it. I'm planting my flag in Rashaad Penny. I'm doing it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is here, and I'm not going to try to do a double standard on it. We say carries. I'm assuming that doesn't mean touches. So if Rashaad Penny can establish himself as the, let's call it the pure line from scrimmage back, and DeAndre Swift turns into that pass catching running back, and they establish both of their identities, I think that there is a world where both of them can be fantasy relevant. I don't mind that one little bit. I'll take the running back that has the later value in the draft, and I think Rashaad Penny can do that as long as he can stay healthy. Knock on wood. We say that every year with Rashaad Penny. This is spicy. I don't think this is actually going to happen, but if he can stay healthy, I do not see this outside of the realm of possibility, but there's always that one if statement, and that's if he can stay healthy. But Rashaad Penny is a very explosive back that doesn't get a lot of love just because he hasn't really quite earned it for us fantasy managers yet. But I think this could be an ESPN statement. Yeah, both ways.
Bold.
I like it.
Okay. I am bold. I am also spicy.
Apparently. So the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, also 14-3. Same coach, same offense. Reid is calling the plays. Matt Nagy's your OC. Nothing changing there. Patrick Mahomes, QB1. Pacheco the 1. And Jerick McKinnon the 2 at running back. And Ryan's true RB1, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That's right.
Or as Jim Nantz like to say, E-Lair. I think he's really
E-Lair.
E-Lair really likes to emphasize the E in his name. And then as Tony says, Jim! Wide receiver 2A, Kadarius Toney. You're not even giving anybody a 1 here. Skyy Moore, the 2B.
This is what I do with elite tight end ones. It's what I've done all team previews.
Yeah.
So.
2D, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Richie James gets the shit end of the stick at 2E. Travis Kelce, the tight end, 1.
Wide receiver 1.
If teams are not double covering and or high-low with a man cover on Travis Kelce, you are stupid. You're simply put, you're stupid. Every single play, that man should have high-low coverage on him with a shadow. And I don't think anybody should disagree with me on that because I don't think any of these motherfuckers are going to beat you one-on-one.
Oh, you're
plain and simple.
Right. They should.
Yeah. Will they? No. Why is that? because NFL head coaches are stupid.
Facts.
We have my guys, Josh and Ryan, obviously, Travis Kelce, Lauren, Mahomes. Y'all didn't make any of these ones fun. We're not gonna talk about those two jamokes. All right, we already know. We already know what's gonna happen.
I do have an interesting stat about Kelce.
I can plant my flag for Jerick McKinnon if you want. That was going to be my other option.
No, I like McKinnon more than Pacheco.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh, on a stat for Kelce.
So he's going on. He's had He's had 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. We know that's a record amongst tight ends, right? Here's a fun fact, and I'm borrowing this from Andrew Cooper over at Fantasy Alarm and Better Sports Network. So there has been one tight end at the age of 34 to eclipse 1,000 receiving yards in a season. One. And we know of all the great tight ends that have played. Did the name Pete Retzlaff ever cross your mind when it comes to tight
Tony Gonzalez?
That cross.
Exactly. I figured it was Gonzo or Gates.
I was going to say Gates or Tony Gonzalez.
Nope.
My guess was Winslow Sr., but...
and the year was 1965 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Lord.
You didn't even know that fucking guy. Calm down. You didn't even know who that was.
No, of course I don't. I wasn't born in 1965. I was reading Coop's tight end article, and that's what popped into my head. I was like, oh, I got to bring this up today.
Well, guess what's going to happen? The newest stat is going to be
2.
It'll be 2 of them. 100%.
So does that mean
we're entering unprecedented territory with Travis Kelce right now?
Does that mean Pete Reykjavik or whatever the hell his name is gets to go in the Hall of Fame, or
Retzlaff?
Reykjavik. Yep.
Reykjavik.
He was formerly in the KGB before he played tight end.
No, anybody know? Capital Iceland? No? Okay.
Reykjavik.
Nope. Sorry.
Reykjavik. Yep.
Bad guys.
Oh, Reykjavik. Yes. Okay. My best friend.
Capital Iceland. Okay. I'm just let's talk about the receivers here, because at some point another person does have to catch the football. At some point, I mean, it's right. At some point, somebody has to. There's no way it's.
And he has a hyphenated last name.
No.
Okay. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna go through all the guys here. We're gonna go in order of ADP here. All right. Kadarius Toney is the wide receiver 36. That feels absolutely like I want to throw up.
He's already hurt
on my screen. He's already hurt.
Shocking. I'm sorry, Kadarius Toney. You're a lovely man, but
I don't even know if you're a lovely man. Sure hurt a lot.
Here's the guys going around him: Brandon Ayuk, Marquise Brown, George Pickens, Treylon Burks, Jahan Dotson,
not even a question.
Jigba, Brandon Cooks.
Who's
drafting Kadarius Toney around these guys? What are we doing? Dumb people. Dropping all the way down to wide receiver 56, Skyy Moore. Skyy Moore going around, Adam Thielen, Elijah Moore, Tyler Boyd, Darnell Mooney, Zay Jones, and why the hell Nico Collins is getting drafted is beyond me. But there are your guys.
Yeah, I'm going to jump
a little more fair.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in here just real quick about Skyy Moore. The only reason why I even have just a minute little opinion about this, because I do really like Richie James a lot as well. I like Skyy Moore because he's been in this offense, but I heard Travis Kelce talk about him today on Inside the Training Camp on the NFL Network. And when you have someone like Travis Kelce talk about a player the way that he spoke, I don't remember his exact words, but it was the emotion, and it was the confidence that he had. And what he said was the amount of work that Skyy Moore has done off the field for his own mind is kind of what I was getting with this. His own ability to handle the offense and to handle the pressure of being on the NFL field. Again, these are not quotes from Travis Kelce. This is what I was getting from what he was saying. It really made me think a little bit more about Skyy Moore, because I have completely dismissed him. I'll be 100% honest. But when I heard Travis Kelce talk about him, it did make my ears perk up a little bit and say, maybe I should be paying attention to Skyy Moore just a little bit more than I am. No, see what I did there? Than I am right now. And that's That's intriguing to me. I don't think that he's going to step up and be a Tyreek Hill. So please don't put those words into my mouth, everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I think he could be an interesting piece to this offense that is one of those real sneaky little league winners that you pick up late in drafts.
That's fair. I mean, he's almost free. Like he's just free.
Literally.
So he's going in the 16th, 17th, 18th round. Like he's free. You drop down to my sleeper because my reasoning is he's from SMU, and who the fuck else are they really? Who's his competition? Is Rashee Rice going around DJ Chark, Romeo Doubs, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jalen Hyatt. I will say I would probably take Donovan Peoples-Jones before Rashee Rice. But outside of that, I mean, you can't give me a reason why not Rashee
What
Rice.
were the other names you said, Joe? I'm sorry, my earpiece.
DJ Chark, Romeo Doubs.
Ah, okay.
Jalen
I might
Hyatt.
think about Doubs. I might think about Doubs.
Hyatt's interesting.
Doubs is interesting.
I was going to say Doubs, Hyatt, Rice. I think they're all pretty interesting. I mean, when we had Howard Bender on,
did I just make that up?
No, he actually. Hyatt just clocked a speed of 24 miles per hour.
Okay, so there's somebody else I'm thinking
recorded,
of. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Here's my talk of my job for a couple days. It was fun.
Okay. And then, so, all right. I want to put this one out there because I do have it. He's not mentioned on your list, Josh. I have him in Dynasty.
Justin Ross.
Oh, he's one of my favorites. I love him. I just didn't want to name 17 Chiefs wide receivers.
No, it's
fine.
You have to, because that's how many that are going to be utilized in this offense.
Pretty much,
Before he was injured at Clemson,
he was a dog.
I mean, you could argue he was better than T. Higgins. Like you could argue that he was the best receiver at Clemson. I mean, you've guys, Sammy Watkins, T. Higgins, all these awesome, fantastic Clemsoners, Martavis Bryant, all these great Clemson receivers. You could argue Justin Ross has been the best one at Clemson in the last 15 years.
We've talked ad nauseum about, Joe, you and I don't watch college football. When I went and watched Trevor Lawrence tape to prep for him coming into the NFL, Justin Ross popped to me. I was like, holy shit, this kid is nasty. Good.
And he had a really bad injury that people did not think he was even going to come back from. So he's still working through that injury. But in terms of talent, Justin Ross is the most talented receiver on this roster. And it's probably not even close.
You said it right when you said that you have him on your Dynasty team. Perfect for Dynasty. I do not necessarily think that this is going to be the year for him. 2024, though, if you're in deep leagues, I say go for it. If you're in keeper leagues, that is somebody that you should just snag towards the end of your draft, hang that guy out on your bench, play him if he really starts to pop in the season, but then you have an automatic wide receiver keeper for 2024.
I know we're running way over, but are we not discounting Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who is only 28 years old and was second on the team?
He catches 4 passes and he does really good at it. And then want to know what else he does with his targets? Drops them. Want to know where? At the 2-yard line after an 80-yard bomb down the field. This is what he is good at. That's what he does. Have zero faith in the young man.
That's fair. 52% catch rate with Patrick Mahomes is terrible.
Horrible.
So, you know what?
No.
MVS is the definition of a jack.
There you go.
Yep.
Like,
I'm back off
not that I'm saying that when he does make those plays, you're like, wow, but do you want to have him on your squad and guess when the game is that he's going to have those huge catches? That is the only reason I don't like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, is because of his inability to haul in perfect passes that are right there. That's the only reason why. Not because I dislike the man or anything on that. He has proven that he is more bobble than he is boom. And I cannot put any faith into it. Can't do it.
I'm with that.
Sorry, that was very heated. I was like,
no, it's good. You know what? I don't think I ever paid attention to the absolutely atrocious catch rate with Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely terrible. Have no faith. None at all.
There's also, there's 4 of him on this team. There's a bunch of speedsters.
Yeah.
So if you just
that's why when you said the name was hyphenated, I was like, no.
Yeah. No, I meant Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Shut up.
I was wondering which one, but it played in perfectly.
I was going to say,
yes.
Nobody was going to enjoy it.
You mean, obviously Travis Kelce, a possession guy, but at the receiver position, they don't have a true possession guy, which is if Justin Ross gets healthy and is ready.
And Andy Reid didn't listen to me when I said to go out and get DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I don't know if he missed my text or, he
Lauren, I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard the Titans are now like a favorite to win the Super Bowl because they signed DeAndre Hopkins.
Of course they are.
Yeah, obviously, right? With the second worst overall team defense in the NFL last year and no offensive line with a single weapon and no quarterback.
They might win the division.
The Jaguars are going to smoke that division.
That's true.
The Jaguars are going to stomp that division. IDP player note, Justin Reid came over from Houston. Nasty. Absolutely nasty. Nick Bolton, he's just vanilla. He's good. He's just vanilla to me. And Chris Jones, please don't fall for the trap. I really think Chris Jones is just going to have an off year. Yes, Lauren.
Oh my God. Heard an interview today with Justin Reid. I thought that they were interviewing another reporter. He was mind-blowingly intelligent and just put together. And I literally thought it was another television personality. I was like, Justin Reid, you are amazing. That man is going to go places post-NFL career, which I think is going to be a fabulous NFL career. But please do yourselves a favor. Go find that interview on NFL Network if you can. He is so incredibly intelligent, and you can see the way that he approaches the game and the way that he can communicate. I'm sorry, I don't play football, and I don't play football for the Chiefs, but I'm like, oh my God, I want to be on your team. I will do anything you need. Like, what is it? Like, yes, I will go punch people in the face, whatever you want. Yes, let's go. He was so cool.
It helps when you have a Stanford education.
Yes.
Definitely helps when you go to Stanford.
Hey, I didn't go to Stanford.
I didn't go to Stanford either, but that definitely helps him. All right, Skyy Moore leads the Chiefs in targets in 2023. Wide receivers in targets. Lauren, hot Goss.
I don't think this is going to be on the hot Goss segment. I think this could be ESPN. I think this is ESPN. However, not next year. 2024, I think that's going to be Justin Ross. But this year, I think this could be ESPN. I've been very ESPN on these. When I first read that, I'm like, TMZ. But now that I'm like, this is ESPN. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the really strong cocktail my husband just made me.
That's okay. Keep drinking.
It's actually a single shot of vodka and 30 ounces of club soda. So it's kind of
delicious. Gabe has a question. He's running a Dynasty League with his buddies for the first time. Any pointers as a commissioner? Any pointers for strategy for draft day? Josh, I'll let you answer this because you
don't do Dynasty.
Lauren.
And I want to throw out that Lauren practice what she preaches because she dropped out of every Dynasty I was in with her. She's like, I'm done with this shit.
Hate it.
Yep.
Hate it.
So kudos to Lauren.
That's too
Josh, go.
No, I mean for a commissioner, the biggest thing is don't favor yourself. You have to be able to make sure you got to uphold the integrity of the league. When it comes to trades and Dynasty, you're going to look at a lot of them and be like, this is the most lopsided thing ever, because you're probably looking at it through redraft goggles. And you have to be able to separate the two when it comes to Dynasty. Everybody is going to value players differently. Understand your settings and your rules. If it's super flex, quarterbacks automatically get a jump in value. If it's not, they don't have near as much value. So you just kind of have to understand a lot of those types of parameters. And if there's trades that are going on that you're just like, hang on a second, don't veto. Never veto. Just have conversations with the managers in the league and make sure that
also
you're understanding. Well, 100%, absolutely. But understand where they're coming from, because that's how you're ultimately going to decide whether or not there's real collusion going on and you need to find new managers to take those teams over. Or if, hey, those people just value players differently than you might. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to let people, especially if they're first-time Dynasty players, you have to let people fail. They have to make mistakes because that's going to make them better Dynasty managers. Plain and simple. Don't worry about.
Also, if you are married and you want to be a Dynasty commissioner, I suggest marriage counseling. You may want to maybe come closer to your wife. as opposed to going further away and like basically committing most of your life to your dynasty squad. I can't do it. I salute everyone who plays dynasty, but I think y'all are fucking nuts. No, and Devi, just don't even get me started.
Yeah,
like
I'll throw in, make decisions openly and for the betterment of the league. Don't just make a decision to make someone in the league happy. But the most important thing I could throw out is, if you're going to allow the trading of future draft picks, league fees have to be paid after those draft picks are traded, because inevitably someone's going to sell all their fucking picks, finish second to last, and quit the league. And then no one's going to want that team. But if you have made everybody pay ahead on their league fees, the new manager gets to play for free, and then they're playing with house money, and they're more likely to come in and take it seriously.
Yep.
Last question. Okay, married with a daughter and a boy on the way. Oh, fucking boy. There you go.
Good luck.
Sports Spotlight. He's at
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, great question. He's at pick 5 in a 10-man PPR league. It's standard: 1 quarterback, 2 backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Very standard. 10-man PPR, smack dab middle of the first round. Who you going with, Lauren?
That is a really good one. You said, I'm sorry, did you say PPR or standard?
PPR, 10-man, pick 5.
Oh God, if he makes it that far, I'd go Austin Eckler, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I would not hate Cooper Kupp here. I also don't hate Tyreek Hill here. If you really want to get spicy, you can take Travis Kelce. However, mock draft the F out of that to see if whatever works. And because 10 person is different than 12. 10 allows a lot more value to keep dropping as it goes. I don't hate it. It's not something that I would do. I would go for a pass catching running back like Eckler if he can fall to you there. I would go for Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill. And then after that, shoot, man. Oh God. I think that's about it for me. I think that's where I would go in the middle. Middle is a tough place to be, but those are some names to keep an eye on.
Ryan. I assume we're going on the assumption, Lauren, that Chase and Jefferson went
correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct. This is, for some reason, this has been, not for some reason, but it's kind of the way that this year is going. This has been a very heavy wide receiver early. This is correct. Under the assumption that Jefferson and Jamar Chase are already off the board.
I would say Jefferson, Chase, and CMC you can scratch off.
Correct. Those are the 3 that are already going to be off. So then after that, when we're looking at sleeper ADP, you've got Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson. I don't necessarily know if I love that, but I am totally good with Eckler, Cooper Kupp. I'm okay with Kelce. That is still very spicy for me. When you get down past that, I mean, I also don't hate Stepmom Diggs or AJ
Brown. Joe already knows. Kelce's my 101. There will never be a draft, regardless of what my draft pick is, that Travis Kelce will.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just something that is. It's not for the faint of heart to do.
It's not. You have to know what you're building coming.
But in a 10-person league, it is very doable.
Super doable in a 10-person. But Kelce gives you the positional advantage. Outscored the tight end 2 by 100 points last year. Even if Andrews comes up, the rest aren't going to come up that high. He gives you this advantage that no other position gets. And in a 10-team league, then you're picking 21 and 22 or 20 and 21. You're still very likely to walk away with 2 good running backs, Keenan Allen in the 4th round. You have the Ryan Weiss build, and you're very happy with your team playing in the championship at the end of the year.
Which is why 10-person leagues are a ton of fun.
They're so fun. Yeah,
they're so fun.
Josh?
For me, it's Travis Kelce, and there is no other answer. So.
Okay, so I was the one that gave you a little bit of an alternative option.
Well,
I loved every name you said, Lauren, because I was going to run through the first 5 names in my head, and we agreed that the 3
you basically said everything else. I have nothing else to add, so I'm like, why am I going to go and repeat everything?
It comes down to 3 players for me
right now, and we're just talking over him.
Like, I was going to say, it comes down to 3 people for me with what Lauren was bringing up. It's Eckler, it's Kelce for me, but it's Eckler. And then I am in on Bijan Robinson. Every time I dig into Bijan Robinson, I like him more. So it's those 3 for me that I'm choosing between. I'm not willing to risk Tyreek Hill and a possible suspension. I'm not willing to risk Cooper Kupp and soft tissue injuries. So there are reasons that I'm backing off of those guys. So it's those 3 for me.
Hey, Ryan, fuck you, because those are going to be the 2 guys I was.
I'm sorry, Joe.
But I don't.
Language. It's there.
I don't. I mean, you need. There's a possibility it could go Jefferson, McCaffrey, Chase, and Kupp. I mean, there's a real possibility that happens and Eckler falls to 5. I don't think he does. personally,
not with Cup's hamstring situation.
Yeah, I don't.
Right now.
I think Eckler's top 4 almost guaranteed. If a sports swallow, I don't know if you're new. I am heavy running back early because I think that position just
I would love to hear an argument between you and Chris Meaney, who is my co-host on FTN, my own football show, specifically FTN Fantasy Show that happens every Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, channel 87 on Fantasy Sports Radio, except for the next 2 weeks. I won't be on it. But after that, I'll be on every other Saturday episode, which you should definitely listen to. But Chris Meaney is heavy wide receiver early. So I would love to hear an argument between the two of you.
Yeah, and I'll just give you my elevator pitch. I think the running back position dwindles heavily.
That's my argument as well.
After the 5th or 6th round. You're picking crumbs, hoping to find a giant cookie. Like,
you have to be okay. If you go wide receiver early, you have to be okay with someone like Rashaad White being your RB1.
And I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm more. Yes.
It's tough. It's really
I'm more
tough.
confident with, and that's why I say I think you should draft Bijan Robinson here because I'm comfortable with Bijan Robinson. And fuck, dude, you're in a 10 team. You could get Bijan.
I'd rather go for Gibbs in the 3rd and 4th.
I mean that's fine, but you could get Bijan and Ramondre Stevenson. And you could legitimately take a receiver in the 3rd round, and your wide receiver 1 could be Jalen Waddle
or Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen will.
Let me be clear. I have Waddle far ahead of Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen could be your wide receiver 3 at that point. But that's what I'm saying. Like in a 10-team league, you could stack RB, go 3 straight running backs. You could end up with Chris Olave as your wide receiver.
Yeah,
1.
It gets super fun.
It's
in a 10
nuts.
Team.
It's not like you're looking at mid-tier 2 wide receiver 2 guys that could easily bump up to a wide receiver 1 by the end of the year. That's why I'm heavy running back early. I think you should draft Bijan at 5. I am not a tight end early, guys. So I know Ryan is. But all right, Lauren, I would say plug, what you got, but you did.
Aren't I good?
So
it's like I do this for a living or something. It's so weird. But no, for real, everybody, please. If you haven't done so already, I think the people in the chat have already followed me, of which I heart and adore all of you. But yeah, so the next 2 weekends are a little kind of funky on SiriusXM. They're covering the flex leagues in New York. So Jake Seeley and Chris Meaney are live from New York. I am actually not working this Saturday, so I get to sleep in. Hooray. And then the following Saturday, we're going to be at the Fantasy Football Expo. So it's going to not be the same programming that you normally have on Channel 87, Fantasy Sports Radio on SiriusXM. But I will be at the Expo, so will likely be hearing from me, probably from Howard Bender and Bob Harris and everyone else that hops on. And it's the inaugural Queen's Classic over there on SiriusXM. Actually, no, they're only covering the Kings Classic. Which one's covering the Queen's Classic? I don't even know. Is it Better Sports Network? I don't know. I can't remember which one. I don't know which one it is, but it's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah, so everyone come follow me. You can find me at Stepmom Lauren on all social media accounts. You can also find me at my website, stepmomlauren.com. And I put all my new stuff on there whenever it's there. So this will be going on there for everyone to see. Same thing with SiriusXM. Please don't hate me. I love you. I don't know how I have a job there. It's really weird.
Well,
you're the best, Lauren.
I love you guys.
Lauren. That was it for our Look Inside series, and you will not see our 3 faces for a month, basically, until the preview for week 1 of the NFL season, because Women Fantasy Football will take over for the next 4 weeks on Club Fantasy. We just announced this year's Women of Fantasy Football panel for the Fantasy Football Expo happening next weekend. Yeah, not this weekend, next weekend. It's in 18 days in Canton, Ohio. Be sure to check that out. Women of Fantasy or Women of _FF on Twitter. Lauren, Miss Stepmom, on the panel this year. Woo! Exciting. Okay. For Josh, Lauren, Ryan.
I got announcements, so I know Lauren's got a dip.
Lauren, you go. Because we're just going to keep talking.
Literally, it's like 8:20 and I have not eaten dinner yet.
Yeah, go to dinner, go to bed.
I love you guys. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. If you can make it to the expo, please come and say hi. I love you guys. And lovely to see all of my gentlemen again. I have missed you terribly.
Us as well.
I'll see you in a week.
Bye, guys.
I won't see you in a week.
Same.
All right.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yes. So big Women of Fantasy Football announcement. So we've kind of adjusted the name of this now. So it is the WOFF podcast. Trying to be a little bit more inclusive to women that don't play fantasy football, and that's okay. Because our first guest, August 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern, she is a titan in the NFL industry. And I don't mean titan as in Tennessee Titans. I mean one of the OGs. She was the first CEO of an NFL franchise. I'm talking about the Princess of Darkness herself. She is currently a CBS Sports analyst. Miss Amy Trask will be joining us next week, interviewing with Kelly Singh on season 4 of the WOFF podcast. Cannot express how excited I am to be sitting behind the scenes, just listening to everything that Amy has to say, because holy crap, it's going to be fantastic. Just like in years past, we will be doing our jersey raffles. All of the fundraising efforts, all of the tickets that you buy, they're $5 tickets. The raffles will launch tomorrow morning, and you can find them on womenoffantasyfootball.com. We'll put out Twitter blasts between the Club Fantasy FFL account, between the Women of _FF account. But as I mentioned, head over to womenoffantasyfootball.com. All of the raffles will be through there. But the first week, we will be raffling off a signed Nick Chubb Browns jersey. And while a little controversial, I'm going to run with it anyway. It is a signed Jonathan Taylor Colts jersey. So,
boom.
We know that running backs are not getting a lot of love these days.
Yeah.
Show some solidarity. Buy some raffle tickets. Show that you support running backs, damn it.
Yes.
All of the proceeds will go
running backs are people too.
Support running backs or women in sports.
All of the proceeds from the raffles will go into the WOFF Galvanize Scholarship Fund. If you're unfamiliar with Galvanize, head to lauraoakman.com/Galvanize. You can also find more information about Galvanize via our womenoffantasyfootball.com website. You can also check out the most recent episode of Her Story in the Making on the Club Fantasy FFL YouTube page. Britt Flynn, the host of the show, sat down with Ty Floyd, who is a Galvanize alum, and she talks a lot about her experiences with Galvanize and how that has helped prepare her for her journey as a multimedia sports reporter on both the sidelines and in studio work. So it's a great thing that we're doing. Our first official scholarship winner, Katie Caldwell, we helped send her to the most recent Galvanize seminar, in Nashville in June. I've heard nothing but great things. One of the co-hosts of the WOFF podcast, Faith Enos, we all know her. She was also an attendee of the event. Again, it just life-changing for so many of these women, and that's what we're ultimately trying to do with our Women of Fantasy Football brand. So head over to womenoffantasyfootball.com for all of the information, and the raffles will go live tomorrow morning. Stay tuned because it is going to be a crazy month. We'll also be setting up a couple WOFF Best Ball fundraising leagues, much like we did last year. We'll do them as Best Ball. Again, all of the buy-ins for those will go directly into the scholarship fund as well. So a lot of good things happening over the next 4 weeks, but you get the tease for the first week, and then we'll slowly roll out the guests every other week. So,
all right. Well, you're not going to see any of us, so enjoy while it lasts, folks.
Trust me, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
So much better for you, the viewer. Much better.
Enjoy the last minute while it lasts, because you're not going to see any of these ugly faces for another month. So week 1 of the NFL season is our next show, but the next 4 weeks will be the WOFF podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're at the Fantasy Football Expo, be sure to check out the why am I blanking on the word? The panel. Be sure to check out the panel in Canton, Ohio. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be awesome. Our guest tonight, Lauren, will be on that as well. You see Josh there. You won't see Ryan or I there. I have a job I can't leave the area for, sadly. So one day I'll make it there, folks. I promise. For Josh, Lauren, Ryan, myself, you can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We won't see you next week because the WOFF podcast officially begins next week.